Okay, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna start. I don't know. Just gonna jump right on in. So I'm hoping that you enjoy this video. This is going to be like my review of random things. Like, I really love reaction or like review videos or like my favorites or whatever, and I really don't know what I'm gonna call this series, but random reviews really feels pretty solid. Like, I feel like that's a really good thing for me because all these things are gonna feel random, but they're just things that like come up in my daily life, and these are gonna be like how I feel about them. These are my reviews. These like random reviews, right? Okay, so I want to talk about Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna say that the ending was totally random and unexpected. Definitely expected. Fuck it. If you're watching this, Game of Thrones spoilers all over this bitch because I don't have time to like sugarcoat this shit. Definitely knew Daenerys was gonna die. Definitely knew that Jon Snow was gonna kill her. I knew it was gonna be on some like stupid frou-frou love shit because that's like the worst part of anything involving action is like when the love story gets too convoluted and then it pulls away from like the fucking point, and that's what was happening in their love story. It was like they shouldn't even have a love story anymore. They're family. They need to get back to politics, and that's pretty much what happened. So not surprised. Not surprised that not surprised that Daenerys went mad. Not at all. They've been alluding to that for a while. It's just that season 8 was this big compared to like all the other seasons were like this big. And it was just one of those things where we needed more episodes. Like, we just needed the 4 more. We just needed 10. You didn't even have to do 12. We just needed 10 solid expected episodes. You had a whole year, so a lot of the editing errors and bullshit shouldn't even happen, but mistakes were made. It is what it is. Moving on. So, the next thing that I want to talk about is going to be a book. It is called Queen Sugar, and I cannot remember who wrote the book, but I'll put all the information down in the description box so that if you like my random review on this book, then you'll know what it's called. I'm sure you can get it anywhere. I got it at the library. The author's pretty popular. There were some like other books that were named on the back of the book that I can't remember. One was called like Flower Garden or Magical Garden or some shit like that. She's a really good writer. So I look forward to like reading other books. So anyways, Queen Sugar is about a girl and her mom. Actually, it's about a girl. And when you come into her life, it's her mom, and their maid slash slash butler slash everything. She cooks, she cleans, she answers the door, she gets the mail, she does everything. She doesn't really get the mail. She does everything for this family. And it's about the 3 of them in this house, and then there's a girl that breaks into her room and is living in her closet. When she goes into the closet, she discovers this little secret compartment in the closet that has all this candy in it, and that's where the name Queen Sugar comes from, because the girl that the story is about has a candy addiction, so everything she describes it in like candy form, like she fantasizes in candy. She loves candy, and that is like part of the story. She's kind of overweight, like she struggles, like not, she's thick, all right? They describe like she's not fat, she's just thick. And like she loves candy, and like this girl breaks into her room and is in her closet, and it will like out her. Her mom is like this old, like 70-year-old society, like high society person. So she's like ashamed and doesn't want her mom to know, and it's like all this bullshit. So it's about her and how this girl in her closet forces her to be strong, and about how she has to overcome all these things that she's like built herself into being, because like she grew up, born and raised in the city. Everybody fucking knows her. Everybody knows her dad. Everybody thinks of her as this person that she was when she was growing up, but they don't know who she really is anymore. It's wild. So yeah, she falls in love. She gets a best friend. She learns about her dad and his past, and It's wild. It is so good. I loved it. I love the way it ended. I didn't expect it to go in the direction that it went, but then like once I was done, I understood completely. And had somebody like done a spoiler for the book and like told me, I would have like been like, "Oh, that makes sense," but I wasn't it was like you figured it out right before you figured it out. It was like, "Oh shit, duh." Like, duh. But yeah, I think I figured it out a chapter before they revealed it. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Anyways, the second book I want to review, because I did read two books, a prequel to Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman is The Rules of Magic. And if you've read Practical Magic or you've watched the movie, I won't spoil it for you, but it's a really good book and it's a really good movie. And this is a story about the aunts that take care of Ginny and Sally. And then the story is just incredible. It takes you back in history, like explaining why the girls, like why they ever needed to be at their aunt's house in the first place. Apparently it's like a rite of passage in the Owens family, and whenever you turn 17 you go to this house and you learn about magic, and then you like basically figure out what your gift of magic is, like whatever your site is. It's crazy. So they like go because one of them turned 17. So her and her siblings go and they learn all about their family, they learn about themselves, and then they like go back home. Some shit pops off at home, forces them down this path. It's wild. It's a crazy ass story. It takes place in like the 60s and the 70s. The storyline is just fucking crazy. It's so dope. And I really enjoyed reading that book. Yeah. And then Dead to Me. That show on Netflix is so good. And this is another thing where I can't do a spoiler. Like, I don't want to tell you how it ends. I don't want to tell you the premise of the fucking show. So I won't tell you all the depth, right? I'll give you very surface, like what you'll get off the synopsis. So these two women, they're in grief counseling, like to get over a death, and they meet there, and like they become friends because of how they meet there. And it is just like this story about these two women and how they're going through this shit together. There's like a massive ass secret. There's a whole bunch of lies, and shit just pops off. It is so crazy. And then the way you would never think that the way it ended would be the way that that show would end. It's so crazy. So I really, 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 really liked Dead to Me. I think that if you like gritty comedy with like hella thriller suspension, like not thriller in the aspect like someone's about to get murdered at any second, but just like there was a murder, you know what I mean? And so it's like a drama, it's comedy, it's like gritty because of the nature of the like the dynamic. It's just weird. I really, really liked it. Another show I watched was, this is gonna seem random to some people, but Tidelands or Thailand, I don't know. It is based in Australia. It's about these like people who are half siren, and then these like other people who like their whole background is like drug dealing and like working with the half siren people. It's interesting. And so you just watch all this drama unfold. It basically comes in on this girl who just got out of prison for murder, and she was like 14 when she went to prison. And anyway, she gets out of jail. She did 10 years. She goes back to her hometown. She finds out all this shit. She finds out shit about herself that she never knew, didn't even know it was real. And she bosses the fuck up. And there's a prophecy, and she has to fulfill her prophecy. And it's just real crazy. And I really liked it. And I hope that there's another season of it. Roswell, New Mexico. Okay, so I was a little worried that Roswell was gonna be like a super spin-off of Roswell. I didn't want it to be a spin-off because I had never seen Roswell, like the original Roswell. So when I started watching this, I was a little apprehensive because I was like, because they already started it off with like people knowing who people were, and I was like, fuck. But then shortly after you find out it's about this girl, well, I kind of read the synopsis, but at the same time, I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, oh, that sounds good, let me watch this. And then it was like, I was watching it. And I didn't know what it was about really, just that there were gonna be some alien shit in it. And I'm always down to see some like sci-fi, supernatural, weird shit. So this girl goes home. She's like going back home from like where she grew up. And as she enters the town, she runs into like this guy that she like not dated, but like they had a thing for each other kind of, and they never explored it. But anyways, they run into him, and then the guy who she dated in high school, his mom. And they're like both cops or whatever. And she almost got a ticket. They let her go, and then she goes to her dad's restaurant to like help out her dad or whatever. She's like, oh, I'm home, I'm visiting, blah, 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 whatever. She's gonna help out her dad. So she is working at the shop that night. Some shit pops off, and then the show literally takes a crazy ass turn immediately to the point where you're just like, how are they gonna get all these episodes off? Because they like release so much. My teeth are getting purple from this wine. They release so much information right away, like in the forefront of the show, that you're just like, where's the show even going? But it takes so many fucking turns, leaps and bounds in directions you don't expect. I really, 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 really enjoyed Roswell, New Mexico. The acting, like most shows on that network, is a little choppy at first because it's like I feel like they get actors that are like just coming into their own. Which is kind of cool to watch because over time the acting gets so good, and it's because they really start to believe in like the character that they're playing. And I feel like high-end actors can like make you feel that immediately. That's why they do like movies and stuff. But I feel like on some of these TV shows that aren't like super funded or like on super great networks that have a lot of money, those actors are usually like subpar, like good or like really, really good mixed in with okay. And then as the show progresses, the acting like progresses. Like they almost have to like, they put themselves on this pedestal and they have to like meet it, and it's pretty dope. So I really liked it as it progressed. Same thing with Thailanders. Like as Thailanders like progressed, the acting progressed. So yeah, I really enjoyed Roswell, New Mexico. It was a really good take on the whole alien abduction. Aliens are with us. Meteorites are spaceships that crashed. Like that kind of whole thing. It was cool. I really liked it. I look forward to the next season. Yeah. And now I want to talk about Star. So I was real late to the Star game. Like I didn't start watching Star until the end of last year, which was like the end of season 2. So I had to watch all of season 1, and then I watched all of season 2 all on Hulu. And then as season 3 was releasing, I was watching it. And I was a huge Star fan. Like, I don't know what it is. Star felt so real. Like, maybe because I have like that dream of like moving to Atlanta and selling my art and like, I don't know, like living like this like artistic like lifestyle that I want to live like in Atlanta, doing my thing. And so like I could totally relate to these 3 girls who were moving to Atlanta to become famous like singers and like do their thing in the whole like music world. So I could totally relate to the whole, you know, thing that they were selling. I was buying it. And the girls have really, really dope voices. I love soulful, deep voices like in R&B music, like old school R&B, and some like some new singers have it too. But I just really like a certain sound, and they have like this dope ass sound. Like the 3 of them all sound like real different variations of bands that I grew up listening, like girl bands I grew up listening to. Like, I don't know, they just like they embodied something very different that we haven't had since I was like a girl, like a little girl. And so I was excited about that show. I really liked it. Plus Queen Latifah is on it, and I love Dana, okay? She's the shit. So I'm all about, I don't know, I'm all about that show. I really, really, really liked it. It had a lot of, it dealt with a lot of really, really popular topics, and they did it in like a way that was like very true to like what the fuck is going on in the world, but also in a very informative, like open dialogue type of way, which is interesting because not a lot of black shows, because it is predominantly black, deal with things head on like that. They'll do it in like roundabout ways, or they'll get canceled for fucking talking about shit. But Star was like a really good show for that. Like there's a whole side of Star that's just about activism, like with just all, it was all encompassing. I really, and then like as the seasons grew, their scope of like activism grew, if that makes sense. Like the first couple seasons, or the first season and a half, was really just about like black activism, and like in the third season they're talking about like immigration and deportation. It was intense, so it was cool to watch. It was progressive, it was soulful, it was dramatic. I mean, damn, Star, she is always getting in fucking fights. Damn, girl, chill. You got a baby in you and now out of you, gotta take care of. Like, and then the fucking season finale, which wasn't supposed to be a series finale. It was supposed to just be a season finale. It was a serious cliffhanger. Spoiler alert, what the fuck happened to Star's baby? You know what I'm saying? And seriously, I was thrown off. I was like, what the fuck? What? Like, too many turns. Smash the fucking break, okay? Let's collectively come together and talk about what the fuck happened. Where, why, you know what I'm saying? How the fuck did all that go down in one episode, and then they're just gonna cancel the fucking show? Bullshit. Bullshit. The crossover episode for Empire wasn't even good. Anyways, you know, because there's been shows that are like really, 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 really hard to watch, and it's usually you just gotta get past a certain stage and then it gets good again. Like Arrow season 6. It like didn't get good again until season 7. Now season 7's almost over, and I'm like, how did I get through season 7 and I was struggling through season 6? Like, literally falling asleep to the point where Devante was like, you don't even like Arrow, why are you watching this? I still laugh when he's like, the thought of him saying that, because he was so serious, and I totally understand why he said it, because it makes sense, because I used to turn it on and immediately go to sleep. It took me forever to get through. I'd do like 5 or 10 minutes, or sometimes half an episode, and then fall asleep, and then wake up and it'd be like 3 episodes down, and I'd be like, damn, I have no idea what's going on, and I have to like go back and watch them. I took my first Greyhound trip from Las Vegas to Flagstaff, and it was longer than what I expected, which I don't know why, because it totally makes sense that it was 5 hours long, because literally it was from 6:55 to 12:30. Does that make sense? And I was just like, this is taking so long, and I was so irritated, and then I realized like it was taking exactly as long as it was supposed to. But my phone didn't have any Wi-Fi, so I had like no service. And the bus was supposed to have Wi-Fi, and it did, but it didn't connect to the internet, so it didn't. It was bullshit. Nobody could use the Wi-Fi. There were supposed to be free movies. We were all pissed, okay? I'm just gonna put that out there. Greyhound, you guys did not deliver on your promise, okay? And had I paid for a better seat, let me tell you, would have been lit. But I did pay for priority boarding, and there wasn't any extra nice seats because I mean it was a Greyhound from Las Vegas to Flagstaff. It wasn't that serious, but I am very disappointed that I didn't have Wi-Fi and I couldn't watch none of the free movies. I don't even remember what they were, but they were free and I couldn't watch them because you guys didn't give me Wi-Fi like you promised. And I was driving, like we were driving through the fucking mountains, so there was no service to be had either way. It was just bullshit. So yeah, but other than that, it was a chill experience. The people directly diagonal next to me or whatever had really bad BO. I don't know why, they just did. It was very hard to like just deal with it, you know what I mean? Because what am I gonna do? Spray them down? I can't do that, that's rude as fuck. So I had to deal with the BO, which like most adults, we just fucking do it, whether we want to or not, you know? So there was that. And the guy, he was like hella fucking loud, like hella loud, like bro, we're all broke, we're on the Greyhound. Like if we had fucking buku bucks, we wouldn't be taking buses places, we'd be flying or driving, you know what I'm saying? Like it was chill. I enjoyed the slow ride, like it was like a slow ass ride, but I played some games on my phone. I tried to read, but I got a headache, so I don't think riding in a bus and reading is for me. But I enjoyed it. It was cool. It got me from A to B. I would do it again if I had to. Maybe a short distance like that, though. I don't think I could do, like, the fucking 2-day trip. Like, bitch, that took too long. We were stopping places we had no intentions of dropping people off at or get gas. So I'm like, what's the point of stopping? It's like the driver has to stop every fucking 2 hours or some shit. I don't know, but like that's not how I take road trips. You drive until you get a little tired, then you pull off. Or we have a destination, we stop there. Like if there's 2 hours to the next fucking stop, why are we stopping at a random bus stop that isn't the bus stop where we're dropping people off at? And it's on the list of places to stop, but we're not getting gas. I was so confused, but like I said, I don't know the rules. I don't know how many times they have to stop for breaks and whatnot, or lunch, whatever the fuck. All I know is that it was chill, but I wouldn't do it for a really long distance if I didn't have to. I'd rather just drive myself, to be real. Like I would just drive. What else? I think that's it, guys. I reviewed Game of Thrones. I reviewed Queen Sugar, the book. I reviewed The Rules of Magic. I reviewed Thailand and Roswell. What else did I review? Oh, and the Greyhound. So I reviewed 6 random things, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and Dead to Me I reviewed, which was fucking fire. So I'm gonna end this right here. Thanks for listening to my random reviews. I love you so much.